The situation in Manipur has lately taken a volatile turn as state experiences constant cases of violence. This has been a constant scenario despite Union Minister Amit Shah taking constant action. However, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi came back from his visit to Egypt, he held a meeting with his cabinet to take cognizance of the situation in Manipur. Well, clearly, of course, how we deal with the situation is the big question. Joining us at this point is Kumam Davidson, founder Mehtai Society. Kumam Davidson, your first comment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairing a high-level meeting today to take stock of the Manipur situation. How do you view this meeting?
Well, I think never too late, but I think it's quite late. That's all I can say.
Do you expect action post this meeting? Are you hopeful for steps now to be taken which perhaps haven't earlier?
I mean, if it is an all-party involved action, yes. I mean, it shouldn't be just one-party oriented action. It should be an all-party oriented action because the problem is beyond just one party, I think. So it should be an all-party action at various levels.
We have seen an all-party meeting called for by the Home Minister just a few days ago. Kumar.
Yes. I mean, I was following the news as well, and I also read somewhere, Chief Minister Birein's statement around it. And if I am not wrong, if I'm correct, then the Home Minister is going to look after the hills, and the Chief Minister is going to look into the matters of the valley. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems that to me seems to sort of send out a certain sense of trigger on both sides. What's exactly happening? I don't think that's the best way to resolve the issue. I think the best way to resolve the issue is to sort of invite stakeholders from both sides, and including others, be it the Naga, and have a more open conversation, open dialogue, and not say divide the hill and the valley and have separate talks. Not in that approach.
All right, Kumam Davidson, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that story. Let me bring in Major General Rajan Kochar, a senior defense expert, also onto this discussion now. Major General Kochar, the Prime Minister chairing a high-level meet today. Are you hopeful of action being taken following this meeting? A high-level meet today, of course, wherein the Home Minister had also briefed the Prime Minister on the latest situation in Manipur, and also the all-party meetings conclusion that happened just a couple of days ago.
You see, the government is, the central government, I would specify here, is taking certain concrete steps to resolve the issue because the problem is not being contained almost more than 50 days, and more than 100 lives have been lost, and more than 3,000 houses have been destroyed and gutted, and the things are going out of control, I can say that. So the first action, I think, in this meeting would have been discussed would be how the law and order machinery can be strengthened to bring about a ceasefire-like situation. The basic idea here is that if we can achieve for the next 10 days no loss of life, no loss to property, then possibly the talks can start. As long as the people are fighting against each other, it will be difficult to sit across the table and discuss. Because see, that is an important prerequisite for any peace committee to sit when a ceasefire-like situation has been attained. So first challenge I feel for the government right now is to control the security situation in Manipur, control the insurgent groups there, and give slightly more teeth to the armed forces there to operate. The second point I would like here to make is that after you have been able to contain the situation to a certain extent, that is the time we think of discussions and negotiations. So the peace committee, which unfortunately was formed, was rejected by the people of Manipur on day one itself. So now is the important question that who should be constituted to be a part of that peace committee. So that would require certain fine-tuning, talking to the local leaders there, and then forming a committee. And in no way this committee should be headed by the Chief Minister, because that will not be acceptable to a certain section of the society in Manipur. The third aspect is that we always think of short-term solutions. We always look at containing a situation and then keeping quiet about it. It is high time now that a long-term solution to the problem is arrived at. And this is the opportunity today, because in times to come, if we don't address the issues of the people, be it the Maitis or the Cookies, we will not be able to bring the peace to Manipur. We have been able to bring peace to other areas of Northeast. Assam has improved, Nagaland has improved, Mizoram has improved. And they also had a similar kind of issues in their own period of time, and it was resolved. I was reading somewhere, there was a talk of a Cookie Land Territorial Council. So maybe this peace committee could also discuss this particular aspect, because before this suspension of operations agreement took place, this aspect was discussed at that point of time, and it was deliberated by the government of the day that we will try to give certain financial rights to the Cookies, so that those tribal areas, those hill areas can see development. Today what is happening is that there is a perceived notion or a perceived feeling among a section of the community that it's only a particular tribe where the development is taking place and the hill areas are getting neglected. So it is an issue of governance. It is a political decision. I would still say that whatever solution has to be arrived at, it has to be with the consensus of all the political parties, and it has to be a political decision. It cannot be a military solution. A military can contain a situation for a period of time, but for a prolonged peace in this area, I think the government would need to put their heads together and come out with certain concrete decisions. I am quite hopeful that all these aspects would have been discussed in the briefing of the Prime Minister. And so possibly I would also recommend that the Prime Minister should give an audience to the leaders of all the communities of Manipur and at least bring down the tempers. See, it is extremely important in Manipur. I think everybody is talking that why is the Prime Minister silent? So this aspect should also be addressed by the government at the center, and a certain statement should emerge after the press conference, and thereafter I would welcome if the members of the community are given an audience by the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Okay, let me take that across to Major Mohammad Ali Shah as well now. On the action plan, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, because the dialogue has happened, the meetings have taken place, both the all-party meeting and today this high-level meeting by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But now action needs to follow this talk as well. What is the action priority plan that you believe the government should now embark on and the security apparatus there should embark on?
Okay, Uday, I'll pick up the thread from what my friend here, Mr. David, said about two things he mentioned, two very, very pertinent points to take home from what a person from that soil, from the local over there said. First, he said, it's never too late, but I'm sorry it's too late for the Prime Minister to speak. Well, I think it's never too late. Again, as he said, I agree with that part. And I think still nothing lost. We can still maintain peace and we can still maintain calm. We have to think positively. If you can see it happen, it will happen. I hope, and I'm an optimist, I hope it really happens. Second point he made was, first, that was the first thing he had mentioned that he read somewhere. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard about a statement of the Home Minister looking after the hill, that is the Kuki people over there, the Kuki tribe, and the Chief Minister, Mr. N. Biren Singh, looking after the valley, after Imphal and the plains. And the majority is the Maithei community over there. And he's right. I mean, he said to correct him, if he's right, he's right. He is right in reading that statement. But now I really do not see much in the fact that why, when there is a proper state, it comes under Chief Minister. So whoever the Chief Minister is, it can be from the Maithei community, it can be from the Kuki community, anyone. The DGP, Mr. Dongal, who was removed as the DGP, was also Kuki. So the top cop. So when the Chief Minister, in 1972, the Chief Minister in Manipur was a Muslim. He was from the Pangal community. That is a Maithei Muslim, the Pangal, the Maithei Muslim. Ali Muddin. That's when 1972, when the state was formed, it was given its recognition as a state. So I would say the entire state should be actually under the Chief Minister, whichever state it be. It can be Delhi, it can be Uttarakhand, it can be Uttar Pradesh, it can be Manipur, it can be Nagaland, under one Chief Minister. Now the golden question is, people are demanding that remove Mr. N. Biren Singh because they've lost confidence in him. The Kukis have been demanding that. And they've been asking for a Kuki land. Now the very fact is, firstly, a situation like that should not arise. It's very unfortunate that some of my friends have felt insecure in Manipur and they've asked for a separate state, like Mr. R.V.'s Mani had said in the previous debate, in the previous panel, that when he spoke, he said we didn't achieve anything much from Bodo land. So the very fact every community, a lesson home is, should feel protected in our country. They should feel they are one of us. Every community, be it the tribals, be it the Maithei community, be it the Sikhs, be it Muslims, be it Hindus, be it Christians, everyone should feel we are looked after by the government of India, by the government of the day, or the state government, whichever it is. Now, the way forward, I would say now, again, I reinstate the fact for the way forward, it should be somebody like my dear friend David will agree with me that, I would be, David, firstly, I would say, I Nanganungshi, and you might think I am Mayang, but I'm not a Mayang, I'm also one of you, by the way, brother. So, they should be people who actually understand Northeast like the back of the hand, who they know, they connect with Northeast, and the people out there are, again, where they'll welcome them with open arms because they are a very, very cultured, very principled men of their word. And let me tell you, I was taken captive one, and I'm not embarrassed to speak about it because they looked after us very well. I was taken captive by an underground people once. There were four officers and there was one other rank. They looked after us very well. They didn't ill-treat us over there. They didn't ill-treat us. God forbid, if such a thing would have happened in Jammu Kashmir, God, you know what would have happened. Probably they would have muted us and they would have sent us back. But in Northeast, when we were taken captive, they made noodles for us, they made tea for us, and the tea was fantastic, I must say that. So the very fact is, they're principal people. I have seen their women who are in the cadres of underground, they share a dormitory and never has anything gone wrong. And God forbid, if anyone dares to mess with them, he'll have hell to pay. So they are those kind of people. So they will accept anyone who knows the culture of them very well. They will be open to them. But if they find a person as, let me tell you, if they find the person does not know our culture, it can be anyone. They don't care who you are, where you are coming from. No, they don't care. They are pure-hearted. So they are because they're clean-hearted people. So they perceive the world to be that they're very simple people over there. Very simple people. And they're peace-loving. They are a martial race, no doubt, but they're very peace-loving. So, and everyone wants peace at the end of the day. Nobody wants to go to sleep thinking whether I'll wake up in the morning or not, whether my house will be burnt or not, whether my village will be attacked or not, whether my 7-year-old child will be attacked or not. No one wants that. Everybody wants peace at the end of the day. So, and I think baaton se bahut baat nikalti hai yaar. You got to talk, you got to converse, you got to have dialogue. I mean, firing bullets and guns, and that is not the way. That is just not the way. And I, being a soldier, I've seen ample of bloodshed. I've seen people dying in my arms. That's the experience I've had. So at a very young age, at the raw age of 23, where my buddy lost his life in my arms. So I have gone through that pain over there. I've informed people that your beloved father or your beloved brother is no more in this world. Imagine the reaction that they felt from the other side. So I know very well how it feels, the pain. I understand the pain of both the Maithei community and the Kuki tribe. I wish they could become friends again. I really wish from the bottom of my heart. And the fact is, no one should allow anyone to poison anyone's mind against anyone by calling them different kind of names. I have very dear friends in Delhi, in Mumbai, in Bangalore. Unfortunately, you're there, people from Northeast, and I do not only say people from Manipur, people from Northeast, that is from my Naga friend as well, my Apatami friend from Arunachal as well, from Tripura, they call them all kind of slang which I wouldn't want to use on this channel. And my heart has gone out. I picked up fights, verbal fights, not physically. Obviously, I'm a peace-loving person, as I told you. I said, how dare you call them that? They are one of us. If they are not meant, if they do not feel, if they don't get that acceptance from us, so it's very sad there.
RVS Mani, over to you now on your priority list for the action plan. What needs to be the action plan now by the government, the security apparatus there? There has been a lot of dialogue. There has been consultations with stakeholders, but now obviously they expect action on ground for them to know that what is being said is actually being meant.
See, NIA has already been mandated to take over the investigation. I am sure they will do their job. Having said that, the security forces first priority, the government's first priority is to douse the fire. First you douse the fire, bring out an amenable situation, only then any type of dialogue can start. Whether it is the valley area, whether it is the hill area, and also not only just not a case of dousing the fire, in sync with NIA, they would also find out the invisible hands which have been triggering this. So that for 53 days, if the state DGP could not, because northeastern DGPs are very well endowed with the capabilities to handle these type of situations. In spite of that, and in spite of several pressure groups working on it, if there has been a lack of peace, then I feel there is an invisible hand, and the NIA will, of course, while doing their job, they can also locate where the funds are coming, where the arms which have been seized over, a huge cache of arms have been seized in the last, in the run-up to this today. So those things will have to be done, and some sort of in 3 to 4 days, we have to douse the fire first. And after that, bring them to the table. Ali Mohammed Shah has already said, see, they are very wonderful people, they are one of us, but the fact is, there is some disaffection being served, whether it is perpetuated, whether it is manufactured, whether these are all has to be addressed immediately. The communication vacuum has to be filled by the government, by the leaders, and by citizens' initiative. I still believe if this is the situation, if Biren Singh has a problem, is a problem with the cookies, or the same problem will also come if a cookie CM is the Maitis will raise an objection, and this type of a lack of trust, distrust will perpetually go on. So let us not bring it. The person who understands Northeast starts the initiative, maybe a citizens' initiative, maybe people who know the Northeast as a palm of their hand, etc. These things have to take place, and that's it. Just talking over the TV shows and social medias and all. Honorable Prime Minister has taken charge of the situation. I am sure something more concrete in terms of first A, B, C, D, an action plan. Action plan with a timeline. In 3 days, I douse the fire. 4th day, the dialogue starts. The 6th day, we come to this. Maybe the 9th day, we bring both the groups on the table. This type of a management approach. Because there is no problem with the community. They are very nice, very, very affable people per se. If you are pally with them, they will accept you, they will lay their life for you. That is the level of bravery they have. That is the level of affection they can show. But somewhere the disaffection has crept in, and also find out the invisible factors, whether if you really want to revisit the 16-kilometer rule on both sides of the border, take everything. But I want a sustainable peace, sustainable development. For that, several larger issues have also to be taken in an umbrella, but it has to start from very small steps, baby steps, like dousing the fire, then finding out the culprit, see that it was a persecution, or see that innocents are not persecuted in the process. So that the confidence building has to go on. Because in many cases, along with the wheat, even the chaff also gets grounded. We do not want that type of a situation. A very balanced approach. Also, if the cookies are feeling that they are dispossessed, they are disadvantaged, disproportionately being not given resources, or the valley is getting more resources, the farming, etc., which used to happen in Jammu and Kashmir, the annual plans, etc., even 90+% used to go to the valley and that is the reason a lot of things have changed after that. But now this also could be a factor. I do not know. I have not seen the annual plans of thing, but indeed the valley is more developed than the hills. That's a fact. It can be sensed. If you visit the Imphal area, you can see it. The employment opportunities are there. Everything is there. The livelihoods are better in the valley area. But that does not mean that the cookies should also be taken up with several programs like the skill development. Kaushal Bharat, Kushal Bharat is a beautiful scheme of the government of India. The Ayushman Bharat, so that the health benefits are there. So many other type of fresh schemes which the Honorable Prime Minister himself has flagged. They should also be taken into it, and other connectivity, because on the infrastructure street, after 2014, under the guardianship of Mr. Dr. Jitendra Singh as Minister of Northeast, I have written a blog on this. Enormous amount of investment on infrastructure has taken place, and that's really good. But that has to be harnessed. It has to be taken to a next level. For that, first thing, we have to have sustainable peace. And the peace is not a short-term measure. It has to be sustainable. It has to be for decades after decades. For that, you revisit everything, even the legislative framework in the Northeast. And whether the question of Biren Singh, as I have also been told several times, that there are 60 MLAs in the Manipur Assembly, and given a chance, everybody wants to become the CM. So that is not a sustainable solution. It is not a legally feasible solution. So on that also, we have to take a call. But let us not victimize, let us not do anything to Biren Singh. He has done his part in an excellent manner. But now, since it has gone out of hand, and as our friend from the Maiti friend has told, it has to be a hill being, let it to some extent, to some part of period, let the hill be handled by the state, central government, and the developments and the other sustainable issues which are already happening. Let us not stop the juggernaut which is being done in the valley. So that is the way some sort of a dual approach has to be there. But dousing the fire is priority number one. And let be no compromise on that. Let us douse the fire, then then talk to individuals separately, then bring them to the table. That is the way it has to. That's the action plan we have to follow. Thank you very much.
Yes, I want to give a last word to Major General Kochar before we wrap up. Your closing comments, thought to leave us with.
See, Uday, today the law and order machinery in Manipur is not existing. The Chief Minister has failed to uphold the law and order right from the day one, when 70 to 80,000 mobs had collected. He did not study the situation. He did not have adequate security arrangements to be ensuring that it doesn't spread. So there has to be accountability. If somebody says that Biren Singh should continue, I would put a question mark on that, because he has actually failed in this entire episode, and he has to be held responsible. So it is up to the central government to decide, and to a large extent, I would support a change in the state in terms of a president or something, because at least it would be a starting point to assuage the feelings of the people there. So you see, it is very easy to say that a long-term solution, short-term solution. The problem with the two communities has been existing for decades. It is not a new phenomena. So we must take those things into account before chalking out an action plan for Manipur. Uday.
Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.